During our lifetime, there have been many significant advancements in the replacement and enhancement of the human body. But how far can we go in replacing and enhancing our own bodies? Throughout our history, humans have been modifying their bodies for both aesthetic and medical purposes. Today, people see tattoos and piercings as purely a personal choice, but in the past, tattoos and piercings were seen as a way into manhood. These were early examples of the way humans changed their bodies for non-medical reasons. If developments in medicine had not have occurred, we might still be rubbing cow manure on our heads to cure baldness. Recently, we have discovered a lot more about the human body, and this has allowed us to have extraordinary breakthroughs in terms of medical modification. People with diabetes now are able to lead relatively normal lives, thanks to the creation of insulin pumps. This is an example of a naturally occurring substance in the human body being recreated to be injected into people who have problems creating the substance themselves. But what about other things in the human body, like internal organs or bones? As you go through life, it is easy to break something that may not repair itself, like particular bones or joints. But now, we can replace these that have become old or broken with new joints made out of titanium alloys. This allows someone who has had an accident that should have caused serious harm to their way of life live as normal a life as possible. However, this is not all we can do. 5-year-old Angela Izari had a new blood vessel implanted which ultimately saved her life and helped her to play like any young girl should. But this vessel did not come from a donor. It was grown onto a synthetic scaffold from her own stem cells extracted from her bone marrow. This means that it could be implanted directly and not be rejected. We can even build bones from scratch. Using a process called 3D printing, Oxford Performance Materials have been able to print a cranial plate. Medicrea in France has been able to make a spinal cage, and there has even been a 3D nose printed, right here at the University of Sheffield. It may seem crazy, but even bionic body parts are a reality. A Danish man who had lost his left hand was giving a trial of a new bionic hand which was attached to the nerves left where his hand used to be. This allowed him to move the hand around just like normal. This is what we can do already, but how far can we actually go? The University of Sydney used an advanced bioprinter to produce tiny fibres, all interconnected, to create a synthetic vascular system for cells in an organ. This network can then be recreated inside a printed organ, meaning cells would have plentiful oxygen. This means that we would no longer need organ donors. We would just need the patient to let us take some stem cells and we can print them off an organ. Even bionics are taking a leap forward. More than 50% of the human body has been recreated using robotics. As of yet, some body parts aren't able to function together, but once this is overcome, an accident which results in an amputation may not be such a bad thing. It could be seen as an upgrade, using robotics. The half-human, half-robot has been seen in many science fiction films, and it may not be as far off as you might think. Right now, we don't know the extent of what we can achieve with the human form by modification, but the rate at which technology is moving, it may not be too long before we find out.